Hey guys, I'm Mike and we're back here for another video. We got a question today from Joe Pablo who said, "Bro, Terrance West or James White?" Now I'm guessing he's meaning rest of the season. And in my opinion, I said James White, and the reason why is because Terrance West, yes, he is a starter right now. Yes, they did just cut Justin Forsett, but Kenneth Dixon is going to get his carries, and especially because Kenneth Dixon is a rookie and he hasn't proven anything yet, it means that the Ravens are going to want him to see if he can be the explosive back and be that number one back that Baltimore's looking for. Terrance West, although yes, he's getting more opportunities, yes, he is a starter right now, and yes, John Harbaugh likes him. The thing you have to look at Terrance West is that Baltimore is not scared of putting a running back by committee. We already saw this, throughout the first part of the year with Justin Forsett, Terrance West, and Buck Allen. Although Buck Allen was, inactive for a couple of weeks, he came right back when they cut Justin Forsett, and even before they cut Justin Forsett, they made him inactive. But still, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a running back by committee. They just fired, what's his name? Oh, I remember his name, and then the second we cut him, I forget his name. But they just fired their offensive coordinator, and that's the guy who loves running the ball. He loves just giving the halfback the ball 30, 40 times a game. And, with this new offensive coordinator who is used to be the quarterback's coach, it's going to be kind of interesting. Mark Trestman, that's the guy they fired. But with, them bringing a new offensive coordinator and all that, it should be interesting to see. Is he going to be wanting to start Terrance West? Is he going to be out here wanting to start, Kenneth Dixon? Because in a lot of people's eyes, and in my eyes especially, I think Kenneth Dixon should be the starter. And I know last week he did nothing. Okay, I get that. He didn't really get any holes, though. The offensive line didn't block too well for him. And I get Terrance West is, this, like, last year he kind of exploded on the scene to be something when Justin Forsett got injured. Preseason and training camp, Terrance West and Kenneth Dixon looked the best. They were doing the best. Buck Allen was going to be cut. He was on the list to be cut. And then when when Kenneth Dixon got hurt, that's why they kept Buck Allen. I think Buck Allen is the next person to get cut, but I think Kenneth Dixon is going to be the starter. Maybe in 4 to 5 weeks, but definitely like long-term season-wise, full season, I would take Kenneth Dixon. I think he's going to be the starter eventually. I don't have faith in Terrance West. Guys, what you have to remember, and I know Terrance West lost a lot of weight. I know he looks better. He runs faster. But the thing is, Ravens are not playing teams that are actually considered teams yet. They played the Oakland Raiders, the first matchup that truly was, quote-unquote, a team. And yes, the Oakland Raiders are great at pass rush, but they're not that great at run stopping. They're not great at covering down the field. They allowed 1,000 yards in 2 weeks. They're not the best defense. I know they're a great team and they're upcoming, and you know what? I think the Raiders are going to be, in 10 years' time, Super Bowl every year. They're going to be New England Patriots, in my opinion, because I think they have a lot of good young talent. I think they're going to be amazing. But the fact of the matter is, right now, as we're speaking, they are a good team on offense. They are not the best team on defense, and that's why Terrance West aided away from them. And that's the same reason why, against Buffalo, we saw that the Ravens couldn't run that well against Buffalo. We saw against, Redskins, they're the 32nd defense against the run. They're not good against the run. Yeah, Terrance West had 90 yards, I believe, and that's the reason why. He's not a good catching back. Terrance West is a good runner, and that's, that's his specialty. He can catch, but his specialty is running. When it comes to Kenneth Dixon, his specialty is being able to run between the tackles and catch. We saw in college. He had 80 touchdowns in college. The reason why is because the man can run and catch. The man is amazing. So I definitely recommend, guys, if pick up both. I would see how it works out. But if I had to choose between Kenneth Dixon or Terrance West, I'm going Kenneth Dixon for the whole year because I feel like he's going to become the starter. And especially if Terrance West ever gets injured, Kenneth Dixon is right there to become the starter. And we're going to see throughout the next week how everything transitions. Because with this new offensive coordinator who was a quarterback's coach, We're going to see if he likes Kenneth Dixon. And a lot of times when offensive coordinators come in, yeah, they might love that old player. But the fact of the matter is, like we saw in Oakland, right? The coach, Jack Del Rio, loves DeAndre Washington. He drafted DeAndre Washington. He doesn't owe anything to Latavius Murray. And yes, Latavius Murray's a starter, but I guarantee you put DeAndre Washington, he has a couple good weeks, Latavius Murray's benched. And the reason why is because the coach drafted him. The coach likes DeAndre Washington. And I'm feeling like this is the same thing here. Now with the new offensive coordinator, we don't know who he likes or not. But if he likes Kenneth Dixon and he likes the rookie chance, he's going to start Kenneth Dixon. I don't care how good Terrance West is doing. Because unless Kenneth Dixon is messing up and cannot be a starter, and then yes, Terrance West will come back. If he likes Kenneth Dixon, he's going to give Kenneth Dixon a chance. And one thing we did see is Terrance West did get the bulk of the carries last week against Washington, but Kenneth Dixon did sneak in a couple. I think he had like 6 or 7 carries, which is not that much, but it is his first week playing. So remember that. Now, the other part of this question is James White. James White is right now the starting backup halfback to the Garrett Blount. He is the third down back. He is the catching back. And with Tom Brady back, that's money. Because when Tom Brady's offense, the catching back is almost the best back in the whole NFL. Because we saw this with Shane Vereen a couple years ago. Shane Vereen was amazing with Tom Brady. We saw this last year with Dion Lewis. Dion Lewis was amazing with Tom Brady. And we saw it this year. We saw it last week with James White. He didn't have too many points. He had about 5.8 points. But still, the matter is, James White is going to get, catches. And for the rest of the season, I probably would go with James White over Terrance West for that very reason, that I think Kenneth Dixon is going to take over the job. But the one thing you have to look at James White, so don't just go, oh my God, you're right, I got to go get James White. Dion Lewis is coming back in a couple weeks. Now, does that mean anything? Not entirely, because Dion Lewis did come off the field last year with a season-ending knee surgery injury. What does that mean? Well, that means he could come back, and be fine. He could take over the job, and James White does what he did last year. He's a backup for Dion Lewis. But I think the matter of fact is, there's no 100% guarantee or even 20% guarantee Dion Lewis comes back and looks anything like he was last year. You have to remember, guys, I don't think he has practiced or done anything football related for like 12, 13 months. So yeah, he could come back and be, God forbid, the best running back, catching back in the NFL, but he could also come back and do nothing. He could look awful, and James White could go right back into that role. And Dion Lewis, welcome to the bench, my man, because you're not going to be able to take over that job. And if James White looks good enough in the next 2 or 3 weeks, yeah, when Dion comes back, he might be the backup for James White. I think with Tom Brady under center, James White's fantasy value increases 100%. And then in PPR leagues, it's like 200%. But I don't think when Dion Lewis comes back, he's going to be that 100%, oh my God, every third down he's in, or every second and third down he's in. Garrett Blount has proven himself to be a steady starting running back. He has proven himself, that he can be that pretty much 2-down back. And James White being the 3rd down back, I just don't think 100%. Now, with Bill Belichick, you never know when it comes to the Patriots offense with the running backs, but I think James White for the rest of the season has better value than Terrance West for the rest of the season. I think if you have Terrance West right now, he just had 9 points. He had 15 points a week before that, or 17 points. Trade him right now. People I would trade him for, maybe you can get him for Willie Snead. Willie Snead had an injury and then he had a bye week. People might be like, I don't really want Willie Snead. Go get Willie Snead. And if you can trade Terrance West for Willie Snead, I would love that trade. And the reason why is because Snead is in an offense that's going to get him the ball. I'm a Ravens fan myself, but I know Baltimore's offense is not going to get it done. and that's just a matter of fact. It's unpredictable. You can never predict who's going to get the ball, when people get the ball. Normal teams, you have 1 or 2 receivers that are always going to do great. Seattle, Baltimore, and New England, you never know. So I would just recommend trading him. If you can get Will Fuller, I doubt you can. But he did have a bad week last week with 0.4 because he only had 4 yards and 1 catch, or 1.4 in PPR leagues. I'd recommend you go get Will Fuller. Will Fuller could be, your option. He could be your ticket, especially if you need wide receivers. Running backs wise, if you want to trade running back for running back, Terrance West, I don't know how many people would do this, but maybe for Jamal Charles, and the reason why is because people might be like, all right, last week he had a bye week. Before that, he did nothing for me. He just went out there and he caught, I think he had like 15 snaps, and Spencer Ware had 54. And people might be like, oh, well, Jamal was back and Jamal did nothing. So they might trade you for Jamal Charles for him and think that Jamal's not going to be what he used to be because he's coming off injury, which a lot of running backs, don't always come back and do amazing. I don't know about Jamal. I don't have faith in him. I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to get re-injured. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that's, just how it works with NFL. You never know. Another guy you might be able to trade Terrance West for is going to be, there's a lot of players that, kind of like spectacle ads or ads that you could make a trade just for the pure fact that the future could hold something bright for certain players. But right now, I think Terrance West for Christine Michael might be a good trade. I know a lot of people might not do that trade just because they're like, Christine Michael, he's doing amazing. I'm not going to trade him for anything. But some people might, also have Thomas Rawls and say, well, Thomas Rawls is going to be a starter once he comes back. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think Thomas Rawls is going to come back and be the starter. We saw the first couple of weeks of the season. He looked awful even when he wasn't 100% injured. He played 1 game without injury. He looked awful. He got re-injured in that game. They picked up C.J. Spiller. C.J. Spiller looks great. C.J. Procise could be the backup to Christine Michael. And I think when Thomas Rawls comes back, they might give him, they might split carries between him and Michael. And if Michael outperforms, he's going to be the starter. Although the coach did say Thomas Rawls is our future, I don't think that he's 100% going to be the future. So, again, Terrance West for... Even if you want to do for Thomas Rawls, that could be maybe a good trade. That someone might take that, but I 100% would not go for Thomas Rawls. I think he's not that great, and I don't think he's going to be that great. Maybe Terrance West for, I want to say Arian Foster, but Arian Foster, you don't know how long you're going to get him for. You could get Arian Foster for like 2 more weeks, and then he's re-injured, or something like that, or you never know with Arian Foster. My main point, guys, is that I just don't think he's going to be that great for the rest of the season. So I'd recommend, if you do have Terrance West, trade him. If people are offering you crazy trades for James White, also trade him. But I just don't think... I think for the rest of the season, James White is going to be a lot better than Terrance West. So to answer your question, I would go with James White because of the fact that I feel like for the rest of the season, he's going to have some good value. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.